subscribe to the YouTube channel here. We got well, it's Friday. We recorded some during the week without doing this. Did some tire work. Knocked my shoulder out of socket. And our video of that, Taylor putting it back in for me. That was an experience. Did some tire work. We got some things here I'm gonna show you here. Got one of our power plants here for the year. Get that all buttoned up and ready to go. Here we got that's me for Grayson on his. Got to do a little cleaning of it. This one was used. Got to clean it up, get it all ready. Just little odds and ends things. Let's see. I gotta take the standard gear hub, put it on here, take this mini gear hub off. We're not gonna go with mini gears quite yet. They say it can't be done without mini gears, and we're gonna try to prove them wrong. We officially started tire work. We got all these are all gonna be hobby tires on this side. This side for right now is well, Grayson's missed us. His car's out getting lettered. Got to put a set of tires on there. So this will all be Grayson's tires, and then all of our left fronts here at the bottom. And yeah. Now eventually I'll have one side of just hobby tires and then one side for the clone. But we like to wait as long as we possibly can to get clone tires. Well, we buy them new at least. So I still gotta stagger them and do all that, resurface some of them. Yeah, they'll be perfect for hobby racing. So yeah, we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna get these motors pretty much ready to go. I'm gonna bolt on my clone up there onto the cart, and maybe show you guys a little bit of how I do my tires, the formula I use to keep track of what's what. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Check out Victory Fuel for sports drinks. It's kid friendly. Use discount code JMR41. You get a discount. I still don't know what the discount is. I forgot to look. But they have a couple different flavors out. So get that going. Check out Taz's Towing and Transportation and Sandy Speed Elixir, Charger Racing Chassis. Oh, I'm not good at this stuff. It's been a while since I've been interviewed. Yeah. Check our sponsors out. They'll be at the very end too. So stick around and check them out in the credits. So I don't know if you guys seen it there at the beginning. It just had that no oil sticker on there. Definitely had oil in it. So always double check you're doing motors and such. Also, sorry about the noise. It's still cold here in Pennsylvania. This should be the last cold 3 days here coming up, and then it looks like it gets pretty warm, and hopefully it stays like that. Another trick here, anytime you're doing motors, taking them off, you always want to plug up your fuel pump inlet. I always keep extra hose, or even if it's old gas fuel line, don't matter if it's stiff. And you take an old bolt, I keep some of my bolts that fit, just for this reason. Plug up one side with a bolt. I know they're a little big, but that's all I found. And stick it on there. You ain't got to worry about nothing getting up in it. Then another thing, I don't know if you guys knew this or not. It's an old trick. Ooh, that's on. I don't know if I'll be able to do this and hold the camera. It's an old chew can. Fan out real good, and it works the same as one of them rubber caps. And especially if you're a chewer or someone in your family chews, it's a lot cheaper. Alright, so the goal was to put that motor, get it all together so we didn't have to worry about nothing. Everything would have been done, for the most part, ready to go. Just add oil, ready to go. But I thought I had a clutch keyway, and I don't. So now I have to go order one or whatever, which is fine because I got to make an order anyway to get some finishing stuff that I need, get the year started. So yeah, that's not going to get done, so I guess we'll just go on to the next thing. And I want to give a shout out to Hanson Performance Engines. Corey Hanson, great guy. You can't ask for better people to be building your motors, really. I've been with them a lot of years. I mean, on and off. I haven't really been in karting in like 3 or 4 years now. But we've yeah, I was always with them beforehand, and he's a great guy. We had one incident where brand new motor, he shipped it. I watched the FedEx guy drop the box, just like kind of just literally dropped it, and ended up cracking the block. Just where the your motor mount goes through, a little stud goes through, just cracked the block right through there. Ended up falling off, right? But the motor still ran. It wasn't like it was a oil leak or anything. So we actually ran it like that until the next rebuild. Get it rebuilt, and Corey replaced the block for free because he asked what happened there, and I told him. And he ended up replacing it for free for me. I mean, you ain't gonna get. I mean, high quality motors. Great guy to deal with. He's fairly priced. I mean, down there, Capital City and King George, I mean, it's all Hanson stuff that's pretty much running the show from what it looks like. But yeah, great guys. Well, we got a couple different motor builders we're going to be dealing with this year. One, I don't think I am allowed to announce yet. I have to wait on that. God, my arm's getting tired. The other one is a Roast Performance motor. He's getting his feet wet again in the engine building world. As far as clones go, he builds 500 micro motors right now. He's working on some 600 stuff, I believe, or at least getting ready to. And doing go-kart motors. Me and him, he's only built 2, and I build them with him. So we got a good thing we had going, I guess. These motors that we had, we didn't know what we were doing. I'm not no motor guy, and basically he just we messed up the timing key a little bit. We didn't have an idea of how that worked. It was a test run. We built 2 motors, and then we had to take it to another engine builder that fixed it for us. The motors actually ran pretty good, so we're pretty excited to see what they're gonna do. He's one of my buddies from since I was just a little kid. I grew up with him. Like I said, the third one I can't announce right now. Hopefully soon, obviously, I'll be able to announce who that is. He has stuff in the works, so he told me not to let the word out until it's official. So we're waiting until it's official. But yeah, I guess now we're. I don't really know what I want to do next. I guess, I don't know, maybe we'll put the, change out the gear. I'm still getting used to this backwards camera thing. Get the gear hub going. Change that out quick. Take a couple minutes there. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what comes next. Alright. real quick before we get started into too much here. I'll show you a little bit about this tire stuff that I do. Ignore my handwriting, I know it's terrible. So this is set, this is a book, well, yeah, it's a book. It's a tire book just for reapers. So I kind of just started it here. We had some tire stuff there from last year. I wrote down kind of what I was going to need here. We'll start here real quick. So, you know, for set 24F, got the sizes I can write down here. Dog leg set. Got the durometer that they're reading. Now, obviously, that's going to change, so you leave yourself room. And I always go for the middle. You know, I'll check my right sides and my left rear, obviously. And if I got a 60, a 60, and a 50, I'll write down that it's right in there. Or, you know, even sometimes I will write down individual, and then I can scratch it out and come over here and write more. Tire depth. I don't know how much people really worry about tire depth anymore, besides when they're cutting tires or trying to, you know, take shoulders off. But I try to go with tire depth when brand new tire, when it's ready to go. I mark it down, figure out what the depth is from it brand new when it's ready to hit the track. And then I will determine, along with the races here, that if it's good enough to keep running in another clone race, or if I need to cycle it down to a hobby class or cycle it down to a junior class. To me, that makes a huge difference in just knowing what's on there. And you know, obviously, the thinner it is, the harder it's going to be, and that helps also. So I don't know how many people do this. Maybe a lot, maybe none. I couldn't tell you, but that's something that I do that I don't think anyone that I know of do it. Here you just put races here. Now, pretty much any time, if I run it in a heat race or a feature, you know, it don't have to be both or all night. I'll put just one slash. It's really just race weekends on it. But if it's only on there for a heat race, I'm still putting a slash. And then the prep that's in it, now that's all here, because, you know, mixing stuff, you're gonna have to write stuff out, kind of what you're doing. And then, you know, obviously, as most of you know, kind of once you put goat, krug, or anything really aggressive in the tire, you're only going to use it for a goat, krug, or an aggressive tire, right? Here you can see some of the stuff I have written down here for set 24G. So that's something I do. There's going to be on my setup book that I'll have just to take notes throughout the track and whatnot. We'll have this. This is something I already do for somebody that ain't from around here, but is planning on coming up for one of our bigger races and wants to get an idea kind of what the track surface is like, you know, on a weekly basis. And I do this, them marks, every half inch. Stick it in, try to apply the same amount of pressure, and even try to, you know, if you're at the track every single week, try to pick the same spot on the track, and then you want to take your notes, you know, what's Coliseum laid down, what's the weather like, the cloud coverage, the humidity, this, and you go through, you know, right before warm-ups, right before heat races, right before feature, if you can, you know what I mean? The more data, the better, and it's all used. Just a screwdriver that I'll probably never use for anything, and just marks. Now, sometimes you got to remark them and remeasure. You got 11 marks, and you don't have to put, you know, if it's on mark 3, an inch and a half, you put, you know, it's on line 3, as long as you do it the same every time. So that's a big thing what we do here. I don't know of anybody that does it like this, but I could be wrong. Some people use pennies and quarters and such also. Yeah, so we still got to do these tires, still got to stagger them, still got to resurface them, put a nice face on a lot of these. You know, this one, last time we ran, and I forget what exactly what set this is, but I'm pretty sure we ran these at the Kart Classic last year. So, I mean, I'm really very big on trying to take notes. I'm not the best at it. Again, you guys seen my handwriting, no. But you can do a lot of knowledge from, like, okay, nothing against the fella, but I think it's I forget what it's called. Guy does all this technology stuff for the Micron 5s and such, right? Doing all this data and everything. And don't get me wrong, some of it, like, I've looked into it and I really want to get it. Not in the budget right now,
I don't feel like it's exactly a need, but it's definitely would make it easier, right? So do it the old-fashioned way. The only thing it really costs you is a couple dollars in pens and notebooks and a little bit of time, a little bit of figuring out. But you can write down what set was what. And I'm also, I date my Duros when I do them. I know I didn't on 24G. I have to do that. But I'll date my Duros. And I can go back and look and see exactly what that tire had in it, how many races it had on it beforehand, what that tire had in it, what the tread depth was at the time, all that type of stuff. Just everything. So, other thing is, just real quick, when you're staggering tires, I like to, assuming most people do the same, my right sides are always the same measurement, no matter what. Always the same. I never grow or shrink. Well, I shouldn't say I never grow or shrink. But I always grow or shrink to reach the exact measurement that I want every single time. The right sides are both the same every single time. So, yeah. That's another thing to think of. And if you go, say you go like a half inch smaller on your right front, you usually are. It's actually doing a lot to your ride height. Not a lot of people think about the weight transfer. There's a lot of stuff that goes on there just by shrinking or growing a right side tire. So I always keep the same every single time. My right sides will read the same measurement all year long. And I'll adjust everything off the left side. Now, yes, when you do the left side, there is still weight transfer. That would, fall back or whatever to it. But it's not, in my opinion, as important as your right side tires as far as transferring weight to your right front. Yeah, you're going to have load that's going to come back to your left rear. I just feel like it's not as important as the right front, especially right now in the way karting is. So, yeah, that's another thing to keep in mind. Here's another little setup tip, whatever you want to call it. I didn't really think of too much until I realized that not everyone does it like this. When you measure for your hubs and your gap, a lot of people I've seen go off the ring here, which I guess in a way could be fun. But I always measure right off the cassette over to where the back of the rim would sit. It's always going to be the same for your wheelbase then. I do see a lot of people do that, but if you get a bigger axle or something, or you slide the axle one way or the other, that could change how you're sit. So I always measure off the cassette to here, to there, to right there. Like I said, that was nothing that I've ever really thought of too much until I've watched people do it from here to here, which is fine in the time being if you're changing something real quick, just to know how much it changed it. But if you're making like I have to pull this off and pull this off so I can change this out, I know that my rotor's going to stay the same, right? So I can put that back in place, sit this back in place, and I know it's going to be the exact same where it was. So then I can take my accurate measurement here to here. About done for today. We're going to do tires. Probably on a different video and stuff. Not everything really that I wanted to get done today. It's supposed to be nice out next week, so we'll spend a lot of time in here working on them. So thank y'all for watching again. Check out these sponsors coming up, and we'll see you next week.